Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Well, I was just reading one of my favorite novels. It's a classic. Anyways, today's story is not about G-Force. Today, I have a different story I would like to tell you. This is a story about a man in a video game. And that video game is Stalker 2.
Oh, fuck my asshole. Son of a bitch. Connect the fucker. Let me over, suka.
You see, I had a bit of an itch, and no, it wasn't the crabs, to go back to Stalker 2, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. If you know anything about Stalker 2, you'll know that the game is extremely long, so I thought, why not play into that a little bit? In this challenge, I want to see if I could beat Stalker 2 with not one, not two, but 2 wheels. When you come to this channel, expect the unexpected. I will be skipping over the intro to the game because I don't know, I just don't want to do it. After completing the introduction, you are greeted by Richter. Richter tosses you a bolt and guides you through an anomaly field. I throw the timer on screen. Now the challenge can officially begin. Followed Richter for a bit, but he told me to fuck off to Zalissa. After arriving in Zalissa, I have a very short conversation with Richter and Gaffer. I need these two to help me find a man named Solder. These two fellows seem to think a man named Squint could help me out. First stop was this warehouse full of blind dogs and some not so friendly folk. Seeing as I didn't have the cash on me to pay them off for the information, I just pumped them full of lead. Oh, is bro getting a set in? Well, it's bad gym etiquette to interrupt someone. After a short trek, I arrived at Squint's hideout. Oh, would you look at that? It's time for the first wheel spin. Let me explain the wheels to you really quick. Wheel 1. Yeah, it looks a little intimidating. This wheel contains most of the items in Stalker 2. Weapons, armors, ammunition. I will be rolling this wheel after a certain period of time. First, it's 20-minute blocks, then 15, and then 10. And when the wheel lands on whatever it lands on, I am no longer allowed to use that item. The second wheel is full of really bad shit that you don't want to happen. After getting to Squint and talking to him for a bit, he had some ward sensors that I needed to get from him, but he wasn't willing to give them up for free. Squint wanted an artifact from a nearby anomaly field. But this was easier. I gave the sensors to Richter and got the information that I needed on Solder. He pointed me to the Sphere's abandoned communication hub. Had a bit of a hard fall, but I learned my lesson. And this is where I ran into my first poltergeist. And this son of a bitch put up a hell of a fight, let me tell you.
Shit!
Once the poltergeist was dealt with, I could get the code for the Sphere. Once inside the Sphere, I ran into perhaps the deadliest opponent in this game, rats.
That fish has turned into a chicken.
What?
Another wheel spin, the ecologist suit is out. A short time later, I ran into some human enemies for once, and these guys were a little more capable. I got all the info I could about the men who jacked my scanner from Solder and knocked him out. Fighting my way out of the Sphere, and another wheel spin later, the SVDM2 was gone. Returned to Gaffer, and I got the key to leave the Lesser Zone. After leaving the Lesser Zone,
Oh, shit!
I met up with some Spark boys who pointed me that way. This direction I was pointed to led me to a factory that was currently occupied by the ward. Another wheel spin, another removed item. I slowly worked my way through the factory until I reached the basement. Ran into CJ, not sure what he was doing here. Got the info I needed on Nestor, met this crazy cracker, and escaped the facility. Booked it to a place called the Slag Heap. Dio tells me Nestor is missing and to check his old workshop. Sold this guy's heater, wheel spin, Core 911, out. Talked to Richter, looted Nestor's stash, and dipped. Then I went to a place called the Labyrinth to get some clues on this whole scanner situation. Skipping ahead to the next wheel spin, we removed the 9x39mm PA. I don't know what PA stands for actually. After clearing out some enemies in the Labyrinth, I found a PDA on one of the bodies. This PDA led me to a place ran by a guy named Varen. Maybe he can help. Oh, Nestor's here? That's awesome. You have no idea how long I've been looking for this guy. Oh. After cleaning the place out, looting Varen and the prisoner, I was able to find the info that I actually needed. for free. Returning to the slag heap, we find that the ward have taken control. This is where you meet a man named Colonel Korshinov. This is the leader of the ward faction. I showed him the unusual PDA that I got somehow, don't remember. After another unskippable cutscene, it's time to go visit Noontide on Wild Island. Fast forwarding a bit, I met a man named Strider. After showing the unusual PDA to Strider, he told me to take it to a man named Professor Lodgka. Fatload told me I needed to get him a inductor, which can be found at a place called the WPS. After arriving at WPS, I ran into a man named Jumper who told me that a mutant had moved in. After collecting a set of keys on the roof and going through a door that I'm not totally sure needed the keys, dispatching of all of these zombies and the controller, I was able to grab the inductor I was here for and an additional wheel spin. Took a second to loot Jumper's looted stash and went up top to find Jumper in bluish being held up by some mercs. After dusting the mercs, I got a nice little reward. Oh, what is that in my inventory? Is that a SVDM2? Well, I can't use that, it's banned. Back on Wild Island, Faust and Strider were having an argument, and Strider gave me this just very sweet gift. It's very sweet, but unfortunately I'm not allowed to use it. Another wheel spin. And I think during that cutscene there was a scripted mission that ended up just killing a lot of the Noontide guys outside. Strider pointed me towards Azimuth Station, currently occupied by the ward. Once you've arrived at the station, however, you'll find that something strange has happened here. You know, maybe that radio chat I heard before was a bit of a clue too. After getting a sweet deer. Deep in Azimuth Station, you will find zombified monolith soldiers. Something strange is going on here. Gave Strider system access. PA7 gas mask is out. Looting Foma, I found a PDA that contained a message between Faust and some strange unknown man. After all that, I went to Camp Icarus, where I talked to a doctor to find a monolith mole in the ward. Collected some data for him, pounded this box. You know what I'm saying? All of this info brought me to a place known as Echo Station. Got some data from this laptop and spun a wheel. West of Echo Base are 2 derelict ships. One of these ships is called Shevchenko. This is where I found Richter. Richter would give me some crucial information on a man named Trapper. This guy would point me to another guy called Nimble. And Nimble would tell me how to get into the swamp region. After spinning the wheel and being forced to drop my current helmet, this is when I had the brilliant idea to add a new rule to the challenge. I was only allowed to save whenever the timer expired. The swamp has 4 beacons that I need to turn off. The first beacon can be found inside this church. The second can be found in this burnt farmstead. The third beacon can be found at a pump station. Everything was going pretty good until I got caught in an emission. Made it to cover the second time around, spun the wheel, met Faust, got my scanner. Another wheel spin later, and I finally got out of the swamp. 20 minutes later, I was at Circa and I gave Dallin the scanner. I got some sleep in his bed, kept my outside clothes on, killed a couple burrs, that's a hard word. 6 letters is just too much for me. I found a suit that I can't use, jumped in a portal, wheel landed on the F1 grenade. Talked to Herman, who we know from the very beginning of the game. Hopped in another portal, talked to a giant rock. Wait, what the heck? The ward is attacking me. Oh my God, it was an illusion all along. I spared Herman, sided with the ward, skipping a couple other little things in Circa, and I was finally out of there. Then I went to pick up 2 emitters, one from Wild Island and the other from the Sphere. Another wheel spin later, and now it's... Jesus Christ, my jacket fell and it scared me. I was at the chemical plant, the main base of the ward faction. This is where I dropped off the emitters that I just got, and I got some new gear. Now it's time to storm the Duga. And let me tell you, man, that Duga was a tough nut to crack. Come from a Detroit basement, guns are blazing, the ditch you're facing. Yeah, my dogs take spots for dollars. Pop a pistol and pop your collar. Wheel spin, a couple more failed attempts, and a wheel spin later, and I finally completed the objective. Running away. After the failed assault, I went to a place called STC Malachite, where I talked to a man named Professor Ozerski to find out what the heck is going on with this Faust fella. Ozerski sent me to a place called Mirror VPC Control Room, which I needed to connect to Malachite, I believe. Normally, you need to kill this Chimera that's the biggest mutant in the game, but I guess I got lucky. After returning to Ozerski, he told me only one guy can help me find one of the people who knew how to fight Faust. Can you guess who it is? It's Richter. It's always fucking Richter. This guy just fucking knows everybody, apparently. Richter led me to a cat, shot it, took its ice. He then gave me some cords to some guy with a very foreign name. After a couple drinks with Devu Pala, there's a lab called X5, which should have a blueprint that will help me fight these phantoms. But unfortunately, the guy gave his key card to his assistant. Finding him is gonna be tough. Oh, there he is. A couple mutants later, I was at the bottom of the lab and I got the blueprint. With my blueprint in hand, I was able to get it installed at the chemical plant. Now that I had the proper protection, I could finally face Faust and end him once and for all. I meet up with some ward troops who tell me the plan is to destroy this large structure that creates PSI radiation. The first step in our plan is taking the checkpoint from the previous mission. Next is using this tunnel here to get closer to my objective.
Let me over, suka!
Burned through some monolithians, spun the wheel another time, and I planted the explosives. The Faust fight is not too complicated. First thing you do is destroy these 3 emitters that are in different points in the arena. Second thing you do is destroy the emitter on his hip. With Faust gone and his pendant in hand, it's time to head back to Dr. Dolan at STC Malachite. One long run and a bloody trail later, I found the doctor. The doctor tells me that he's currently in possession of an injured Strider, and he tells me about a location that will have a piece of equipment that can heal him. After killing every single monolithian, I didn't leave one alive. I got the piece of equipment. And after all that, the doctor ended up killing Strider for no reason at all. Then he told me he doesn't even know where the guy is. When I recorded the footage for this video, the last half hour corrupted. Let's not waste any time. Let's pick up where I left off before. A man named Sidorovich, which some of you will probably know from the older games. And then he told me about a lab called X3. Fuck. To keep this whole section short, I found a guide. His name was Dark. We went to the lab together, killed some mutants, found a guy named Strelick. Dark did not make it, unfortunately. Rest in peace. Grabbed a cartridge. Next thing I did was run all the way over to Orbita Station. And this place, ooh, this fucking place, man. That shit hurt. The top half isn't too bad. It's when you get to the lower half where shit gets real bad.
Shoot me, you bitch! God!
Oh, what was the last time I saved? I don't remember.
God damn it! Knife the fucker! God, every 2 seconds, man. Ooh, fatty. Pussy.
Once they were finally beat, I had another long ass cutscene. Then tragedy struck.
Oh! No way. No way. Oh no.
After that whole debacle, Strelick wanted me to activate some neuroprogrammers in a lab controlled by the ward. But they didn't like me poking around that facility too much, and when I asked about the program I was sent to activate, the guards turned on me. Blasted away the guards, activated the thingy, and sided with the ward. I guess the old colonel doesn't really mind too much that I just blasted away like a dozen of his guys. Now it's finally time to head to Pripyat. Well, almost. First, I have to go to Yanev Station, inquire about a guy named Spirit, talk to Richter, the guy that knows everybody, find Spirit, heal him, get his scanner, give it to Nor for a pass. Oh, son of a bitch, I'm in Pripyat. Now, I can say this for sure, we are in the final stretch. Thank fucking God. First thing that we do is go to a place called the Energetic Palace of Culture. When you arrive, however, you will find that the place is under attack by monolithians. But after cleaning them out, you don't get much more than a thank you. These fellows aren't very friendly with the ward. But that's okay, because the ward have a base only a couple hundred meters away. I think I needed to get some data on a lab that was somewhere in Pripyat. but we didn't know where. The Colonel gave me 2 locations to search for data. I chose the laundromat, got a thing, killed a chimera, and got another thing. Once you get this data and return to the Colonel, you are then given another set of choices. You could either go to Polissa Hotel or the other one I didn't write down. I picked Polissa Hotel, killed some monolithians, and descended into the basement. Richter and a bunch of troops under his command ambushed us, and we had to eliminate them. And unfortunately, Dallin as well. Now I need to activate 3 generators to power a teleporter, I think? I don't know, there's a lot going on. What? The teleporter was booby-trapped? Oh no, who could have done that? Oh wait. The fight with Strelok is very straightforward. You just pump his ass full of lead. After restarting the teleporter, Korshinov asked me to retrieve a list of Seek Consciousness agents. And this is apparently where you can repair your gear. However, I somehow didn't realize this. Yeah, my gear wasn't looking so good at this point. There were 2 things standing between me and the list. A fuck ton of monolithians and Scar. This fight can be a little confusing for first timers, but I am no virgin to Scar. After dealing with Scar and a little jaunt, I got the list. Met up with Korshinov, tried to take an elevator, doesn't work. What stands between you and rebooting the elevator? You guessed it, a lot of monolithians. But this was the final leg of the journey. After defeating these monolithians, rebooting the elevator, Colonel Korshinov made the ultimate sacrifice. And that is the end of Stalker 2. Thank you for watching if you are still here. You probably noticed as you're watching this video, there's not really a lot of wheel action, and I have to formally apologize. Listen, hindsight's 2020. There are some better things I should have done, but it is what it is. And at this point, I've sunk so much time into this video, I kind of just wanted to make it anyways. That's gonna do it for me. And I will see you in the next one.